Welcome to the Live Sports in New Mexico show. My name is Chris, and we have a great show for you guys today. In this show, we basically talk about the life of an athlete, life of a coach, and we kind of mix in, some things that we could learn from sports that we could also apply in life. And today, I really want to talk about, a lot of us have admiration for players. We love LeBron, we love Sutphen Curry, we love all these guys for football, for baseball, for whatever it is. But a lot of times I think we could really kind of put them above a lot of people. Like for me personally, I think of it as you put them as your God. You put whatever they do, whatever they say, like on Twitter or on Instagram, you're going to listen to them. And I think we could get a little disconnect right there because I don't think we should always do that. God created us all. We're created in His image, but we are imperfect. We are born sinners. And so there are going to be things that we see people are so great, they're so inspiring, but they are going to fall at sometimes. And there's two different types of people. There's people that say they're just going to criticize them like, oh, they're terrible. Since they did this one bad thing, they're just awful to me. I can't believe they did that, whatever it is. Then there's the other people that say, man, I don't care. You know what? He's done all these great things. We should excuse the bad. I think both are really, really tough on a person, especially in someone in the spotlight. We've seen it with athletes, even cheating on people, or they taking a certain drugs, or you see them at parties and oh well, they're this party person, and they're not a very good influence on my kids, and that could be true. I think a lot of it we shouldn't follow players that are like that, but there are certain mentalities, there are certain things we can follow with players. For me personally, my favorite was Kobe Bryant growing up. Just his mentality, he went about the game. There's a lot of guys that are 6'6", his height, his strength, and you see it, like I even see it in the summer league. I see so many guys that are like this. They look like LeBron, they look like Steph Curry. They always say the next Steph Curry, the next LeBron, whoever. But it really comes down to the mentality. So I think that's what, for me personally, what Kobe really taught me, not just as a player, but even as a coach and even now as a person. Just this person that was so obsessed with the game. He even talks about, he wanted to strive to reach certain goals, which was to win championships. But he also says if I didn't win, it would be extremely disappointing. He wouldn't call it a failure. He would have called it a disappointment. I think there is really a difference there because I don't think failure exists. I really don't. I think, when we work hard, when we get to a certain point and we say, you know what, I gave my best shot. I gave my very best shot at this, and if I came up short, well, I can't give more. Our pastor, and Pastor Steve's a great pastor. He pastors Legacy Church that sponsors this show. He says something at a leadership meeting we had, and finally someone agreed with me on this. Sometimes I really get tired of people saying, I give 120%. I get what the phrase is meaning, but you can't give more than your best. You can only give 100%. You can't give more of you. So I know it's a kind of technicality there, but still, what the point is though is you have to give your best, but you can always make your best better. So that means it's like, okay, I gave my best this year. I came up short, and I did my best. I couldn't give more than that. But next year, when I train, when I work out, I can make my best better. And I think that's really strong in track. I see track athletes, they get into these races, they're like, oh, I don't know if I could do it, but they see themselves improve each and every race, and they get better and better and better. And so that's what I think what we really need to focus on is really, we just need to make our best better. And I think that's what Kobe really did for me, is what he really taught me. He just had this obsession with basketball. He really loved the game. A lot of people have obsessions over other things too. It's not just basketball, but when you see someone just work so hard at what they do, I think it's so inspiring. I see it in other athletes, in other professions. We see it, but we have to understand, like, we shouldn't just admire players for their skills or their talents. We should really look into what they do and how they do it. I used to read books on athletes. I used to read, like, okay, why is Kobe so much better than everybody else? Why was Michael Jordan so much better than everybody else? They're built like all these other players, but why are they better? There's 7-footers out there that weren't as good as Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, as Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all these guys that you see they rose to the top. But I think what you really have to look at, the key to success is, okay, how did they get there? Not like, oh, well, they just got there by chance. God just said, you know what, LeBron James, you're going to be the best player of all time. He didn't say that. LeBron is working towards that. He's working hard because he wants, that's his drive. He wants to wear, like, clear cut when you go stat for stat, whatever. LeBron wants to be better than Michael, and so do many other players. But are they willing to do what it takes? And so I think that's what we really need to see, is that just as people, when we could get caught up on Twitter and Instagram and think, oh, well, Kobe's better, Michael's better, Jordan's better, okay? Or sorry, James is better. But why are they better? Why are they better in their certain areas? I like Kobe. I've said things about LeBron. I like him too, but there are certain things that, there are differences with Kobe and there's differences with LeBron, both really great players. But when I see the mentality, I've always looked up to Kobe. I've always think like, man, the way he went about each and every game, how he turned around a team. He lost his most dominant player in the game in Shaq. He had to really come from scratch with tough management and say, you know what, I'm going to win more. And I think if you haven't seen it, it was a really cool interview of Kobe and Shaq saying, they split their ways, and they're like, Kobe wanted to win one before Shaq, or vice versa. And that's just the competitive drive they had. And I just think it's so cool. It's so cool to see that we have that, but we have to be careful. We can't just idolize these players or idolize these musicians or these actors or actresses. We really have to see what did they do to get there? Read about them. See what look up their workouts. Different things like that. And everyone wants to change. Everyone wants to be that. Everyone wants to be the next Michael or the next LeBron. But are you willing to do what it takes? Okay. I'll leave you with this thought. Everyone wants to change until it's time to change. We have to realize that when we say, you know what, I'm going to get stronger, I'm going to get faster, but if you're sitting on your couch this summer and not doing anything, how are you going to expect to change if you do the same thing over and over again? All right, good stuff. We'll have a few state champions that are going to be here with us. All right, we're going to have them in the next two segments, going to ask them about their future and we're kind of reflect on what they did this year. So hopefully you stay tuned and listen in of what we got. We'll see you in a little bit.
Digging for home, play at the plate, safe. What a slide by Wilson.
Harden is off the plate, and now he's going to run to home, and we've got a pickle here. And Harden going to go diving in, and he's safe.
Safe. Runner goes to second, out at second.
Got her.
Out at second, so. On first pitch. Oh, nice catch. Left. Hit the ball well. Execute defensively. Runner's going to second. There's the tag. Runner's out. Oh, what a catch in right field.
Nice, yeah.
What a catch in right field to retire Niven. Great catch out there. What about swinging? Here's the payoff. Swung on. It's a deep left field.
Whoa.
That ball is gone.
It's gone.
Two-run home run by Aaliyah Hibben. That puts Volcano Vista up 2-0. Hibben waits and takes some good pitches, works the count to a full count, and hits the payoff pitch for a two-run homer to left field. Roger, great.
Here's Andres Quintana, and this one is skyrocketed deep out to center field, and that baby is gone.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
All right, welcome back to the Live Sports of New Mexico show. Today we're really getting into about, we're thinking about how players or people inspire us. How can they do that and what do we need to do from that? And today I have two very special guests. I got DeMarcus on my left, Jordan on my right, two state champions. If you guys remember a few months ago, they were on the show and they called this one. So it was really cool. I looked back at that episode to see what they talked about, and they really stepped up and did what they had to do. So just, first for Jordan, congratulations. You're at my alma mater, UNM.
Thanks.
So what's the first thing you're really looking forward to? Like, maybe even the college life or with basketball, what's the first thing you think about, like, okay, this is what I want to do once I step onto the UNM campus?
Well, most definitely it's like to get started with the basketball team, because since I'll be playing with them, I would just want to get bigger, stronger, faster, and like work on my game more, just so I'll be able to, because I feel like right now I'm inferior to the other players, so I want to get up on their level as much as I can and play for a spot.
Yeah, especially as a freshman. I mean, as a walk-on, even when I came in first too, it was like, okay, they want to attack you, they want to get at you, so that's going to be cool to play against those guys. DeMarcus, so we just won a championship. What's next now? What do you think? How do you respond after? Do you say that's it? All right, I got mine, or are you ready to get another one?
No, I want another one. I really do. And the coach has been pushing us a lot lately too. Like, we're already running and stuff. So, and we all looked at him like he was crazy. So, we're already pushing for another one. But I think we also have the talent again, like we did last year.
Right.
I think we have guys coming up that could take like a big spot for Jordan. Maybe not be as we won't have the height, but I think again.
Well, I think it's also you think about it. It's once you get one, doesn't it feel like you need to win the next one. It's like you need to validate it or whatever, because I think we've seen in the past it's been a lot of these single teams that are just they're getting there and they're winning. But I really think when you look at a program, are they always in the Final Four, or are these they're winning back-to-back championships? So I'm looking forward to it. I think you guys could definitely do it again. And we'll look back here and say, you know what, they did it. So with Jordan, back to UNM. So how's your relationship right now with Coach Weir and the coaching staff? What was the process kind of like for you, with dealing with them and they being recruited, stuff like that? Kind of, probably help somebody out there that wants to be recruited. What was the steps that you had to take?
So it started off last summer at the Lobo Elite Camp, where they had like the juniors, incoming seniors. They had the best ones in New Mexico go and play, and they had some from out of state too, a lot of recruits they were looking at. And I performed really well at the camp. And one of the assistant coaches approached me and said, we're going to be having open gyms during the summer. So he gave me his number, and I was going to the open gyms during the summer. And then after the summer, Weir went to an open gym, and he said, I really like how you've been playing. Like, of course, you're getting pushed around by some of the guys, but that'll come with age and like as you mature and get stronger. But I really like your style of play. I like how you're quick and you're long and you can shoot the three ball. So ever since then, we've been in contact. He's gone to a couple of my games, and I've talked to him after the season, still interested, offered me a preferred walk-on spot. And of course, I took it. And he's just been real nice to me and my family. He'll always say hello to my parents, and it's been good so far.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, the relationship, when I had Coach Alfred with me, just even as a walk-on too, they still treat you the right way. So I think that's going to be really cool. I think I've met Paul Weir too, and I think it's going to be fun watching some local talent, you and Anthony, going out there. All right, so DeMarcus, this has always been something like with athletes and coaches. They've always had this distinction after winning a championship. Are you next year? Do you feel like you're winning it? You're striving to win a title, or you're defending a title right now?
Well, this is what I like about all the guys, including myself, is like we play like we haven't even won yet. So we, like every practice, like we had the open gym the other day, guys were still getting mad at each other, pushing each other a little bit here and there. Like me and Jordan were getting after it the other day. But like we're still playing like we haven't even won yet. And I think that'll lead in good into next year.
Okay, so are you still with them? Are you still working out with them and making sure they're not slacking off?
Yeah, I'll go. I've been going still the 7th period, but I'm done now. Today was my last day. But yeah, and like how he said, coach has been really pushing them. He acts as if like we lost in the first round, like we were projected to win and we lost in the first round. So he practices them, makes sure that there's no room for error that can be prevented. So he makes sure, what I see, he makes sure they're in shape with all of the running and then the shooting drills. And then when we play, he also makes sure that, well, he doesn't make sure, but he instilled it in us that we know that we need to go hard to get each other better. And even though I'm leaving and going on to the next chapter of my life in college, that I still go hard and I make these guys better because they're still in high school and they still have things to play for, like another state title. So I always do my best to push them.
Yeah, that's good because I remember alumni coming to my practices. Even you'll see it at UNM too. You'll see some, like the Roman Martinez and Doris Gary's, they'll come in, Phil McDonald, Jamal Fenn, and they'll come in and and I think it's just because you have this brotherhood now. Like, you, especially when you win something, when you guys are so close together, you guys are coming together and you're saying, you know what, I'm still a part of this. I'm still a part of this Atrisco Heritage team. So I think it's really cool that you're doing that. So from last year, let's go, you're in high school. Okay, we go from last year, come up short, and then we have a summer, we have preseason, we have the season, you get to the postseason, we're in the same spot again. What put you over the hump this year? What kind of clicked for you guys that you maybe thought that didn't work, your junior year? What worked your senior year to kind of get to that point?
I would say getting to the semifinal game and losing, but we knew, like, you can call it luck, but I guess Volcano was a better team that day, but we knew we were a better team than we played. And then guys understood what role they had to fill on the team. They understood what they do when we win and just kept doing that over and over. And like, for example, when we got to the postseason, like district, our record, we won one extra game. We went from 9-1 to 10-0. Because we did have the same team, we had the same talent. Guys just kept getting better and better and better. And as they understood, like, what we're doing is creating wins, and we kept doing it, and we stayed together, we stayed as a unit, it just worked out for us because we had the talent. We knew we should have been in the championship game last year. And with that mentality throughout the whole year, we were going to work hard until nothing could stop us.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's what made the difference too. Like when you got that extra win, it's like, okay, that's what put us over, really. So I think that's really cool. Okay, one more question for DeMarcus before we take a break. So you're at AAU season now. You're still in the mix of it. You're still in the circuit. How's that been going for you? What tournaments have you played, or what have you played in, and what are you going into?
We just started off in the spring. We got back-to-back tournaments. We had one in Dallas, and we did 2-2, and then we went to Denver the next weekend, 2-2 again. But we're just switching up the teams a little bit, like these back-to-back teams weekends. We switched up the teams both times. We're just looking for a solid team, like a solid 7 or 8 guys to take to Vegas, because that's when the big circuit goes around. So we're just trying to look for a team right now that clicks very well, and I think it was this past team that we had in Denver.
Yeah. So with AAU season, there's definitely differences between high school and AAU. What is there a different mindset you have? I know this seems like high school is more of a team thing, but then AAU is really essentially it's more of like you got to go get yours. But then also coaches want to see how can you play with the team. So what is does your mindset change, or there's different things you're looking for in your game?
See, I'm more of a team guy. I guess that can go good or bad as far as playing for AAU. But I'm more of a team guy. Like if I see an open guy in the corner, I'm definitely gonna hit him without a doubt. Yeah. Where there's other guys where they'll take the shot, make or miss. You know what I mean? So. But here and there, I will take a few shots, but I'll recognize that I was selfish. I the next time down. But defense doesn't change at all, of course. And then same thing pretty much. But I definitely shoot a lot more than I do in the season. But I'm trying to lead that into next season because I know I got to be more of a scorer next.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just really knowing your role and knowing when to pass and when to shoot it. I think coaches look for that because they don't want too much of a passer and too much of a scorer. So finding that balance is really good. All right, good stuff from the state champions from Atrisco Heritage. We're going to come right back. We're going to ask them some other questions basically on what their favorite player is and how they inspire them. So we'll kind of go back and forth and talk about that. So hopefully you stay tuned, and we'll see you in a little bit.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game. Hey, New Mexico, come check out the newly remodeled guest rooms at the new Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center, featuring 309 rooms, 30,000 square feet of meeting space. New Mexico's only indoor water park featuring the Wave Runner. 2,200 square foot fitness center with hydro massage chairs. Also enjoy breakfast at our new Manzanita Grill and watch your favorite team play at Altitude Sports Bar and Grill. It's all at Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center.
All right, welcome back to the Live Sports of New Mexico show. So we're kind of talking about these two and what their past looked like, reflect on it, a little bit of their future as well. As DeMarcus is going to the AU season, and Jordan joined the Lobos along with Anthony and some other guys. So yeah, we were talking about this a little bit before the show, and we're going between our favorite player. You guys already know my favorite player, all right? Kobe Bryant. I grew up, watching him. So now I'll start with Jordan first. I think DeMarcus was struggling to find his favorite player, but who's your favorite player? And then how does he inspire you and stuff like that?
So I'd say regardless of the decision he made to leave the Thunder and join the Warriors, I think Kevin Durant's one of my favorite players for sure.
Okay.
Because of how he played. So me being in New Mexico and being 6'6", most people see me as a post player, but Kevin Durant was one of the first near 7-foot players to take his game out to the perimeter, and I really respected that, and I wanted to become something like that because he doesn't, he's not a post player that shoots threes. He's a guard that can shoot threes, take you off the dribble, and then post a smaller guy up. And that's how I've always wanted to play, and that's what I strive to be here in New Mexico.
And I think he's really changed the culture because a lot of guys are like that now.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
Porzingis, the 7'3", and he's doing the same thing pretty much. It's
crazy because they're they're handling the ball, and usually it's you throw it down to the post, and that's it for the big guys. And I think the last person we really saw dominate the post was Shaq. But now guys are getting out there because I always think you could always teach a big guy guard skills, and you can always teach a guard post skills too. So I think that's what Kevin Durant, he's really kind of just changed the culture of, how kids work. Now you're working as a guard, usually nope, you're all post. And so now I think they're switching the game. All right, DeMarcus, you've had time to think. Who's your favorite player?
Well, I'm definitely not agreeing with Jordan. If you can't beat him, join him. Nah, I'm not with that. Nah.
So we talked about that one time too. We talked about that KD stuff.
But I have to say Jason Tatum. From
the
Boston. Rookie, yeah. A true rookie, Jordan. Yeah, a true rookie.
Man.
Yeah, I'm not with Ben Simmons in any of that, no. But yeah, I like him because he's long. I like the way he uses his body too. He's athletic. I just like the way he plays. He's always up tempo. He's always in the mix. He don't come off the floor. I like him. So
you brought up that whole rookie thing. So if there's a redshirt freshman, so say if Jordan becomes a redshirt freshman.
We're talking about this.
And then is he still up for freshman of the year?
No,
so he can't get it. What do you think?
Because you experience a year, bro.
I don't know, because if it's your first year playing, I don't know.
But your feet are kind of wet because you kind of see with DeMarcus and everything.
Yeah,
because they did that with Blake Griffin too. They said, all right, well, he went through a year. Even though he didn't play, you still were in the NBA arenas. You still were around the guys. So I don't know. It's pretty tough. So who do you guys think? Who do you think is winning Rookie of the Year? Do you think they're taking that into account, or is
Mitchell or Tatum?
I feel like it's going to be Mitchell for sure because the things he's done. Kevin Durant's my favorite player, but definitely Mitchell's one of my favorite up-and-coming players just because of his attitude, because he came in as a rookie, but he doesn't play as a rookie at all. He's aggressive, and he's putting up real big numbers, and it's really impressive to see.
What pick did he come in as, too? Mitchell, was he like a 14 pick?
Yeah, he was
I think he was top 10. It wasn't,
was he?
So.
It's usually how it happens. Usually these guys, because they usually have a chip on their shoulder after a while. So even like when I first saw Mitchell, I thought he was, for some reason, he's gotten shorter and shorter to me because I thought he was like this long, athletic guy that was killing it on the highlights. Then I watched some games and I'm like, he's actually not that tall. He's just really explosive and really getting after it. So we talk about favorite players. Jordan kind of said Kevin Durant was kind of like a player he like. Is there any other players like you say, like, you know what, I want to kind of have a little bit of his game or a little bit of another player's game? Is there anybody in the league right now besides Kevin Durant?
Well, you speaking of mentality, I would say Ginobili's mentality is really interesting because he's one of the older players in the league, and for him to still be getting in the mix and like he doesn't really shy away from doing what he has to do to help his team win. I just think that that's really interesting, and I really like that mindset of just because I'm older, just because like I'm not as athletic, like I'm here for a reason.
Right.
So I'm gonna show why I'm here, and I'm gonna do it really well.
Okay. So do you think he's done? Do you think he's?
I feel like he is. This is probably his
He's
last
probably going to take the Tim Duncan approach and say, I'm out and that's it. You know, some of these guys want a big ceremonial year of retiring.
But no, the Spurs are real classy players, all the old Spurs. So
Do you see, because I've watched you play, do you see a little bit of Anthony Davis?
in myself, maybe some, not. Most definitely Anthony Davis.
I think that's a player to
more
look up
talented
to too.
And maybe if I were to stretch to about 5 more inches, I'll be 6'11", like
Get a little growth spurt maybe. You might.
maybe.
I just like, because he had that too. Like in high school, he was actually a point guard. Then he just shot up.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much stronger he's gotten. You know how much he kind of dominates the game and gets up. But okay, so DeMar, any other players you think that you try to mimic? You're like, you go in the backyard, you go to the gym, and you try to work on a move because you saw it in a game.
Well, I mean, I really like Russell, but I don't play like Russell. I just like watching Russell play because he's explosive.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to work on my post game a lot lately.
Okay.
So more like that fadeaway that LeBron hits all the time. I always try to hit the fadeaway all the time.
Yeah, that one step fadeaway. Yeah. Okay. So for me, I was a lefty, and so my favorite player was Kobe, but I'm not. I wasn't like Kobe athleticism. So growing up, Derek Fisher was a solid guy for them. And so Derek Fisher had the lefty shot, everything. I even had the headband. When he had the headband, I had the headband and everything. Wore number 2 because of him. And yeah, it wasn't pretty. But I just like, this guy hustles, he gets after it. So I was like, okay, Derek Fisher, that point. When he did that .4, I went to the gym and I did that shot. I did that .4 shot because that was huge. But we look at it as, I think, as athletes, you guys could probably see it as, we look up to these guys because they inspire us in different ways. Let's kind of talk about, our parents' involvement. How much have they helped? Because I know I recognize my parents. They put so much money and time into my basketball career. They saw me as this little 6-foot kid saying, I don't think he's going to make it. But they still, because I loved it so much, they still did a lot. So what do you think, your parents? I mean, I remember you working with Coach Fenton early in the morning. I walk into work and you're there working with him. How much have they been helpful to you?
Honestly, they're probably the main reason, if not the reason, that I'm like going on to the next chapter in D1 basketball, because my parents, they put all that time and all the money, all the effort into keeping me in AAU basketball, helping me play the best competition there is out there outside of the state. And then definitely a huge shout out to Jamal. He saw potential in me and he really helped me with my handles. And yeah, there's been times where I was like, maybe basketball isn't for me. Maybe I want to do something else. Maybe I want to quit. But most definitely, people like my parents and people like Jamal just kept me in it. They kept my mind focused. Like, you have skill in this sport and you need to pursue it. So they had a huge role.
Nice. All right, before we leave, DeMarcus, what about you? What have your parents or even other family members have done for you?
My mom, she's done everything for me. And even now, money could be tight at times, but she'll make sure I'm out there. You know what I mean? She'll always make sure I'm out there. Getting bigger and getting stronger and doing what I need to do outside of the state, like Jordan, playing AAU, and just make sure I'm getting out there and showcasing, because she knows I can play at the next level, whatever it may be, D3, D2, D1, it doesn't matter. She just wants me at that next chapter, and that's why I love her so much. And she'll do anything for me.
And that's what I look at it too. I always wanted to say, hey, Mom, it was worth it. Now I'm done playing. It was worth it. All right, so good stuff today. I'm glad we got these two in to talk a little bit about their state championship and what they're doing in the future. So hopefully we'll hold them to it to see if they can win another one, and we'll see Jordan at the pit. All right, we'll see you guys next week for another show.